what the series of composition would look like. Mark being the first gospel, followed by Matthew and Luke, written at a later date, without the influence of one another. But what does this line of composition tell us about the relationship between the synoptic gospels? Having Mark as the earliest of the three, and the gospel that was used as a source document for both Matthew and Luke, illustrates an interesting dynamic in the early church. Importantly, we have demonstrated that Matthew and Luke worked independently of each other in copying Mark. Therefore, we have evidence for two distinct and established evangelists in the early church that held Mark to such a high standard that they made great effort to copy it, in most cases verbatim, when including it in their own gospels. Rather than discrediting both Matthew and Luke for being copies of the originals, I believe it displays Mark as an early authoritative source that was so strongly venerated it could not have been left out when composing a more expansive gospel. But I do not believe that its early composition date was its only point towards its authoritative claim. Rather, if we account for church tradition, both Eusebius, a Christian historian of the 3rd century, and Polycarp, a church father of the late 1st century, they both attribute Mark to be the interpreter of Peter, and that his gospel was largely informed by the witness of St. Peter himself. Perhaps the authority of the Gospel of Mark in the eyes of Matthew and Luke can be more correctly understood by an extension of Peter's authority, truly reflecting the words of Jesus.